A lone human super soldier annihilates an entire army of alien invaders. The Tarkalian Empire never saw it coming. In an age of galactic conquest, humanity refuses to submit, striking back against its alien oppressors with shocking ferocity. Vincent Gray, an elite cybernetically enhanced warrior, leads the charge. Evading plasma blasts and cleaving through armored foes, he storms a Tarkalian stronghold on occupied New Eden. Rivers of alien blood drown the hallways. Staccato gunfire sings a lethal song. It's kill or be killed, victory or extinction. Vincent's mission: obliterate the arsenal, capture the general, break the chains of human enslavement. One man, one army, one final shot at freedom. Vincent rigs the charges, alien gore slick on his hands. Tarkalian General Sagan awaits, a colossus clad in bone-white plates, eyes burning with malice. Their clash will echo through eternity. They fight, razor talons against crackling power blades. Hate against heroism. Vincent pins Sagan, forcing surrender. The base lies shattered. The armory vaporized. A legend ignites, a beacon of defiant hope for all humanity. As news spreads of Vincent's triumph, the galaxy trembles. The Tarkalian fury knows no bounds. This insult demands vengeance, blood for blood, but the embers of resistance now catch flame across human space. For Vincent, for humanity, the battle has only just begun. The war for survival, for liberation, for the future itself rises on the horizon. In the void between the stars, two races rush towards a cataclysmic confrontation from which only one may emerge. In the war-torn depths of the galaxy, Vincent's victory echoes like a thunderclap. Earth's generals, emboldened by his triumph, chart a daring new course. To strike at the heart of the Tarkalian menace, they need more than brute force. They need intelligence, infiltration, a hidden dagger to pierce the enemy's armor. They need Vincent Gray. Clad in stolen skin and forged credentials, Vincent becomes a ghost, slipping unseen into the Tarkalian stronghold. His target, Zara, a brilliant mind with a fractured allegiance. In shadowed halls and secret labs, they forge an unlikely alliance, trading whispers of treason and salvation. Zara's revelations chill Vincent to the core, a weapon birthed from madness, harnessing forces that tear at the seams of creation itself. The power to unravel worlds, to snuff out suns. The Eradicator. Vincent moves like a wraith, dancing through laser-latticed corridors, a blur of blade and shadow. But even legends can falter. Kalos, a hound on the scent of blood, unmasks the infiltrator. Alarms blare, bulkheads slam shut. Vincent, cornered, plays his final card. In the heart of the storm, Vincent stands, finger poised over the detonator. A singularity screams in its cage, begging for release. Kalos snarls, fangs bared, but the human's eyes never waver. A stalemate, a breath away from oblivion. The seconds stretch to eternity. Zara, forgotten in the chaos, weaves her own web. With a whispered code, a sealed door springs open. Vincent moves, a blur of desperate speed. Plasma scorches the air, but he is gone, vanished into the void. Across the stars, Vincent races home, a ticking time bomb in his head. Plans and schematics, the seeds of salvation or damnation. On Earth, in halls of steel and stone, he speaks his warning. The Tarkalians are coming, a tidal wave of fire and fury. Humanity must prepare, must stand, must fight. In the silence that follows, Vincent feels the weight settle on his shoulders. The burden of a species, the fate of worlds. He looks to the stars, to the gathering storm, and knows that this is only the beginning. The Eradicator looms, a specter of extinction, and time is running out. But Vincent Gray, forged in the crucible of war, tempered by loss and sacrifice, will not flinch. He will stand, a beacon in the darkness, a guardian at the gates. For Earth, for humanity, he will fight, until the stars themselves burn cold. In the heart of human space, a call to arms echoes. Across worlds scarred by Tarkalian brutality, a spark ignites, a glimmer of defiant hope kindled by Vincent Gray's legend. On Earth, the halls of power hum with urgent whispers and the clamor of mobilization. Vincent finds himself at the eye of the storm, a hero forged in blood and sacrifice, now tasked with an impossible burden. In the shadow of the looming Tarkalian invasion, he grapples with the weight of duty and the tug of his heart. The hybrid children of New Eden, innocents caught in the crossfire of a war they never chose, haunt his thoughts. Seeking counsel, Vincent turns to Admiral Alexei Volkov, a titan of the human defense forces, his face etched with the maps of hard-fought campaigns. In the Admiral's steel-gray eyes, Vincent sees a flicker of understanding, a recognition of the impossible choices that must be made. "You're the key, Vincent," Volkov says, his voice a gravel, rough whisper. "The Tarkalians are coming, and we need to strike at their heart, cripple their war machine from within." Vincent nods, the weight of the mission settling on his shoulders like a mantle of fate. He knows what must be done, the sacrifices that must be made. As he assembles his team, hand-picked warriors forged in the crucible of combat, Vincent feels the bonds of brotherhood, the unspoken trust that binds soldiers on the edge of oblivion. Nadia Sokolov, a hacker with a haunted past, her fingers dancing across glowing interfaces like a conductor of digital symphonies. Jax Briggs, a close-quarter specialist with fists like hammers and a heart that knows no fear. Together they slip into the void, a dagger aimed at the heart of the Tarkalian Empire. Their target looms before them, a behemoth of steel and malice, the shipyard where the Tarkalians forge their instruments of annihilation. As they infiltrate the facility, a labyrinth of shadows and secrets, Vincent feels the weight of the Singularity weapon schematics burning in his mind. The Tarkalians have unleashed a horror beyond imagining, a twisted marriage of science and cruelty. Through corridors bathed in the eerie glow of alien machinery, they fight, a dance of death and defiance. Plasma sears the air, the staccato bark of gunfire a counterpoint to the hum of power blades. And then a revelation that shakes Vincent to his core. Zara, his one-time ally, a prisoner in this fortress of nightmares. Torn between duty and loyalty, Vincent makes the choice that defines him, the choice that sets the course of fate. They breach the containment area, a maelstrom of fire and fury, and in the heart of the storm, they find her. Zara, broken but unbowed, her eyes haunted by the specters of torture and betrayal. And with her, a truth that chills the blood, the Tarkalians and their insidious plot to enslave the minds of humanity. With time slipping through their fingers like grains of sand, Vincent and his team race to sabotage the dreadnought fleet, to sever the head of the serpent before it can strike. On the flagship, a titan of the void, Vincent faces his nemesis once more. Kalos, a beast in Tarkalian skin, hatred given form and function. They clash in a storm of sparks and blood, a duel on the edge of oblivion, and in the end, as the dreadnought shudders and screams its death throes, Vincent stands victorious, but at a cost that carves scars on his soul. Jax, a brother in arms, a sacrifice on the altar of humanity's survival. Returning to Earth, Vincent feels the weight of the fallen, the burden of the blood he has shed, but even as humanity raises its voice in celebration, he knows that this is but a fleeting respite in the greater war to come. The Tarkalian fury knows no bounds, and they will not rest until the last ember of human resistance is ground to dust beneath their heel. As Vincent looks to the stars, to the gathering storm on the horizon, he feels the mantle of leadership settle upon him, the weight of a species' fate resting on his shoulders. For the hybrid children, for the billions who look to him as a beacon of hope, he will fight. Until the last breath, until the last drop of blood, Vincent Gray will stand, a guardian on the edge of the abyss, a shield against the coming darkness. The stars blurred as Vincent's ship tore through slipstream, carrying him and his battered team back to Earth. His mind raced, processing the intel gleaned from the Tarkalian shipyards. The Singularity weapon schematics burned in his memory, a testament to the horrors that awaited humanity if they failed. As they emerged from FTL, Earth's familiar blue orb greeted them. Vincent's comm crackled to life. "Gray, report to the council chambers immediately." The Council of Allied Worlds convened in a cavernous hall, faces grim as Vincent delivered his report. Zara stood beside him, her presence a reminder of the unlikely alliances forged in the crucible of war. "We must negotiate," Zara insisted, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "There's still a chance to prevent further bloodshed." Murmurs rippled through the assembly, but Admiral Volkov's voice cut through the noise. "The time for talk is over. We strike now or we perish." The vote was swift and decisive. Earth would launch a preemptive strike against the Tarkalian capital. Vincent's stomach knotted as Volkov laid out the plan. "You'll lead the assault alongside my armada, Gray. Objective: penetrate their defense grid and neutralize that doomsday arsenal." As the council dispersed, Vincent found himself alone with his thoughts. Images of fallen comrades flashed before his eyes, intermingled with the faces of the hybrid children he'd sworn to protect. The weight of command settled on his shoulders like a lead blanket. Weeks blurred into a frenzy of preparation. Vincent oversaw the deployment of stealth vessels and drilled with elite shock troops. Every simulation, every briefing brought them closer to the precipice. The day of reckoning arrived with brutal swiftness. Human ships burst from slipstream at the edge of Tarkalian space, weapons hot and spirits steeled for the coming storm. Kalos, ever the cunning foe, was ready. Strategic gateways flared to life, disgorging waves of Tarkalian reinforcements. Vincent's tactical display bloomed with enemy signatures, a sea of red engulfing the vastly outnumbered human fleet. "Evasive maneuvers," Vincent barked as the first salvos of plasma fire lanced across the void. Human ships twisted and juked, but for every blast avoided, another found its mark. Hulls buckled, shields flared and died. Amidst the chaos, a priority alert flashed on Vincent's console. Zara's ship, caught in a brutal crossfire, was breaking apart. "Gray, maintain formation," Volkov's voice crackled over the comm. Vincent's hands tightened on the controls. "Negative, sir. I'm going in." His fighter screamed through the debris field, dodging blossoming explosions and streams of molten metal. He spotted Zara's escape pod, tumbling and venting atmosphere. Tarkalian fighters swarmed like angry hornets, but Vincent was a force of nature. His targeting systems sang a song of destruction as he cleared a path, scooping up Zara's pod in his tractor beam. A Tarkalian destroyer loomed, its weapons charging. Vincent punched his thrusters to maximum, feeling the G-forces crush him into his seat as he spiraled through a hail of fire. Moments later, he stood in the flagship's medbay, watching Zara's unconscious form float in a stasis tube. Volkov's voice, tight with almost unchecked fury, summoned him to the bridge. "You disobeyed a direct order, Gray," the Admiral growled. Before Vincent could respond, space itself seemed to tear apart. The Tarkalians had sprung their trap, a minefield of singularity bombs. Vincent watched in horror as whole squadrons of human fighters were swallowed by swirling vortexes of oblivion. Klaxons blared. "Boarding parties detected," a tactical officer shouted. The bridge erupted into chaos as Tarkalian shock troops materialized, led by the towering figure of Kalos. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air. Consoles exploded in showers of sparks. Vincent fought like a man possessed, his power blade a blur of crackling energy. But even he couldn't be everywhere at once. A scream of pain cut through the din, Volkov impaled on Kalos's wicked talons. Vincent lunged, but Kalos vanished in a shimmer of teleportation energy. He caught Volkov as the Admiral slumped to the deck, blood bubbling from his lips. "Gray," Volkov wheezed, clutching Vincent's arm. "You're fleet commander now. Finish the mission. Save Earth." The light faded from Volkov's eyes, leaving Vincent alone with the weight of command and the screams of battle. The dying. Time slowed to a crawl as Vincent processed the monumental shift in command. He swallowed hard, pushing down the surge of emotions threatening to overwhelm him. There was no time for grief or doubt. "All hands, brace for impact!" Vincent bellowed, his voice carrying over the cacophony of alarms and weapons fire. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a nightmarish sight. A wave of energy rippled outward from the Tarkalian capital, distorting space itself. Vincent's eyes widened as he realized the true nature of the threat. "Evasive maneuvers! Full reverse thrust!" he ordered, but it was too late. The shockwave slammed into the human fleet with devastating force. Vincent was thrown violently across the bridge, his armored suit the only thing preventing immediate death. He felt bones snap and muscles tear as he collided with a bulkhead. Through a haze of pain, Vincent saw the bridge disintegrating around him. Crew members were sucked into the vacuum of space as hull breaches tore open. Emergency force fields sputtered to life, barely containing the catastrophic damage. Vincent dragged himself towards a nearby console, every movement an agony. He tasted blood in his mouth as he pulled himself upright, desperately trying to assess the situation. The tactical display was a sea of static, but one reading stood out, a massive energy signature unlike anything he'd ever seen. Vincent's blood ran cold as he realized what it meant. "This is Commander Gray to all surviving ships," he rasped into the comm. "Fall back immediately. I repeat, fall back to the rendezvous point." As the remnants of the human fleet limped away, Vincent's gaze was drawn to a shimmering distortion in space. His eyes widened in horror as he saw what lay beyond. A cosmic entity of impossible scale was emerging from the rift. Tentacles large enough to crush cities whipped through the void, and eyes that defied comprehension opened, surveying their new domain. Vincent's mind reeled. This was no Tarkalian weapon. This was something far more ancient and terrible. The singularity had merely been a gateway, and now the lock was broken. Klaxons blared as the ship's systems registered the approaching behemoth. Vincent knew they couldn't outrun it, couldn't fight it. There was only one option left. "Helm, set a course for that rift," he ordered, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. "Sir?" the helmsman questioned, disbelief evident in his tone. "You heard me, soldier. We're going in." As the battered flagship limped towards the dimensional tear, Vincent felt a strange calm settle over him. He thought of Earth, of the billions counting on him, of Zara still in stasis below decks, of all they had sacrificed to reach this point. The ship shuddered as it entered the rift. Reality itself seemed to twist and warp around them. Through the view screen, Vincent saw impossible vistas of alien architecture, bathed in crimson light. "Brace for impact!" he shouted as the ship plummeted towards one of the vast spires below. The last thing Vincent saw before darkness claimed him was the cosmic horror unfurling above, its tentacles blotting out the alien sky. When consciousness returned, Vincent found himself in freefall. His armor was in tatters, corrosive energies eating away at the remaining plates. He could see other crew members tumbling through the air around him, some already lifeless. Acting on instinct, Vincent activated his grappling line. The tether lashed out, finding purchase on a crystalline outcropping. Pain lanced through his shoulder as his descent was brutally arrested. Gritting his teeth, Vincent began to climb. Each movement was agony, but he forced himself onward. Above, the cosmic entity's writhing form dominated the sky. As he hauled himself onto a stable ledge, Vincent's tactical mind began to process what he was seeing. The creature was massive beyond comprehension, yes, but it also seemed wounded, trapped even. A feral grin spread across Vincent's bloodied face. This wasn't the end. It was a new battlefield, with stakes higher than he'd ever imagined. Checking his sidearm, miraculously still intact, Vincent set his jaw and began to scale the alien spire. He didn't know how, but he would find a way to stop this cosmic horror. To save not just Earth, but reality itself. The climb ahead was daunting, the odds impossible. But Vincent Gray had faced impossible odds before. As he ascended towards his destiny, one thought burned in his mind. The real fight was just beginning.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.